Snowboarding has some pretty specific language that can get a little confusing until you understand how it all works together. This is an overview of the names and a quick description of some of the most common tricks you'll see and learn when jibbing on your snowboard or training board. Regular and goofy are used to describe which direction you prefer to ride in. If you're regular, you'll prefer to ride with your left foot leading. If you're goofy, it'll be your right. You can spin two different directions on your training board or snowboard, frontside and backside. Frontside is when your chest faces down the hill or forward during the first 90 degrees of your spin. Backside is when your back faces forward during the first 90 degrees. Not to get confusing, but you can also jump onto the balance bar or a rail, frontside and backside, but that has nothing to do with how you spin. If you jump on when the feature's in front of you, it'll be a frontside trick. If you jump on when it's behind you, it's a backside trick, regardless of the direction you spin. You can also spin using two different techniques. Rotation, where your whole body and board move in the same direction, and counter rotation, where your upper and lower body move in opposite directions. In snowboarding, the term fakie and switch mean essentially the same thing. You're riding in your least comfortable direction. The term comes from skateboarding, where you can easily change your stance to center near the tail or nose of the board. In snowboarding, we simply don't have that option. We're stuck where the bindings are. So fakie and switch are the same thing. A 50-50 is one of the easiest jib tricks, landing with your board lengthwise or parallel with the box or rail. You can do 50-50s frontside or backside. A board slide is when you pop the nose of your board over the feature, landing perpendicular to it. Board slides can be done both frontside, called a front board, and backside, which is just called a board slide. The lip slide is similar to a board slide, except you pop the tail of your board over the feature instead of the nose. Lip slides can be done frontside or backside. A nose press is when you balance on just the nose of your board, where your board's parallel with the balance bar. A tail press is when you balance on just the tail of your board. Nose slides are essentially just a board slide where you're centered over your front foot or nose of the board. And like any good trick, it can be done frontside or backside. Think 90-degree nose press. A tail slide is the same thing on the back foot. Jumping in similar to a lip slide. Frontside tail slide, backside tail slide, or just back tail. Blunt slides are when you jump all the way across the rail or box, landing just on the tail of your board. Front blunts getting on with the balance bar in front of you, back blunts with the bar behind you. A pretzel is when you pop off of a board or lip slide, spinning 270 in the opposite direction you jumped on. Front board pretzel, backboard pretzel, back lip pretzel, front lip pretzel. Same way as when you spin a 270 out of the trick the same way you spun on. Makes sense, right? This trick is also called a bagel, or even a Danish in some circles. They work great out of a front or back blunt. Switch-ups are when you switch between tricks without jumping off the rail or box in between. Play around with these and see what you can come up with. 180s and 270s on and off are pretty self-explanatory. Until you start doing them hard way. A hard way spin is when you spin the hard way, the same direction as you would for a lip slide. Some examples would be hard way frontside 180 and hard way backside 270. That should be more than enough to get you started. I'm Duncan Mainland from Snowboard Addiction. Our goal is to improve your riding.